People in here, they've been inside from the start. They haven't had to survive. And they just don't get it. They can't.
The very thing that makes you different is what makes you special.
Now I'm all warm and fuzzy inside.
To fight for this city. To be the symbol of hope that the arrow never was. I am the Green Arrow.
Wow, 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 wow.
Hello, everybody. We're back. Back in the Fandom Zone, episode 55.
That's right.
I'm Charles
55.
Skaggs.
I can't drive.
55!
That's right.
And then I'm going to join Van Halen and ruin it. Oh, sorry, Sammy. Van Hagar fans. But you know it be true.
It is kind of true. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Charles Skaggs. Welcome to the Fandom Zone podcast. And with me, as always, is my partner in crime, Karen Lindsay.
Hello. And we're t-shirt buddies today.
Yes, we are.
Yes. Wearing a t-shirt that I kind of designed, which is awesome.
Yep. Karen now is a proud owner of the t-shirt that she designed.
That's right. The Fandom Zone t-shirt.
So now if you want a really cool Fandom Zone t-shirt like the cool kids are wearing, hint, hint, you can go to our Facebook page, the Fandom Zone podcast, which of course you've liked, right?
Of course you have.
Of course you have. Although we have gotten a couple more likes since last.
We have.
Yeah, I think we're up to like 56 now. So thank you very much. But if you haven't, please like us on Facebook. And then you can there's a link there, or you can go to my blog, Damn Good Coffee, and I've got links in our posts every time there's a new episode. So you can.
I'm like a Pavlovian dog. Every time you say damn good coffee, I go
hot.
Every time.
Bark for me, Karen. Bark. Good Karen.
Thank you. Sit, Ubu.
Sit, Ubu, sit. So yeah, we've thankfully only have 6 shows this week.
Phew. That sounds like a lot still.
Yeah, well, that would be normally we'd be like, oh my God, we have 6 shows.
I know,
but this season has been crazy.
Right, but this is without Flash, without Supergirl, without Gotham, without Lucifer. So.
Yeah, we have without a good chunk of DC comic shows this week. Although we still have some. But
Arrow and
iZombie, yeah,
Legends,
yeah. So that's 3 right there. In addition to those 3 shows, we're going to be talking about this season 6 finale of The Walking Dead. And as you might figure, yeah, we have 1 or 2 thoughts about that controversial.
We sure do.
Which only, maybe like got some people upset on Twitter.
50% apparently has a 50% rating.
It's more divisive. Yeah, The Walking Dead season 6 finale more divisive than Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice, I think.
Correct.
It's pretty up there, or at least in the ballpark. We also have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And Daredevil episode 5.
Kinbaku.
So yeah.
I hope that's how you pronounce it. At least I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's Kinbaku.
No, I wouldn't think so.
It sounds like a I don't know, like an Asian version of the Easy Bake Oven.
Kinbaku. Yeah, it sure does.
Let your little girl play with the new Kinbaku.
It only cooks sushi, though. Yeah. So there's no light bulb in it. You just run fish right through. I know, I'm terrible.
Oh, well.
So shall we talk about The Walking Dead?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Last Day on Earth.
Yeah.
Written by Scott M. Gimple, showrunner, and Matthew Negretti, I think.
Yeah.
Directed by Greg Nicotero, usually directs a strong episode.
Yeah, well, he's a director, though. I think he did great with the direction.
I agree. I think the direction wasn't the problem here. I think the problem was in the script.
I think
Yeah.
Mr. Gimple was the issue.
And the extra 30 minutes
Yeah.
of show. Well, which means 10 minutes of show, 20 minutes of commercials if you follow
Right.
The Walking Dead on AMC. Because damn, they love their commercials.
Right. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, I did a Periscope
At
that evening.
Bavaria.
Did you see that?
No,
At
I didn't.
Elvaria, yeah.
Yeah.
My cable company apparently decided, or AMC, I'm not sure which one, it was completely unwatchable live. Completely. I
Now,
Periscoped it. It was just completely gone.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yes, it's still up, my
Okay.
Periscope. You can watch it. It's
Okay.
terrible. And so I put it up there. I had some people watching it and they were like, "Oh my God, that's the worst." And I was like, "Yeah, I would like to watch it live, but
Now, which
no,
cable
not
company
so
do you
much."
have so we can throw them under the bus?
Comcrap, of course.
Comcrap. Well, that explains so much.
Yes. So I didn't get to watch it live and I didn't get to watch The Talking Dead. I got to see the top of Chris Hardwick's head in stutter steps.
And granted, it's a pretty big head.
Sure.
But yeah.
But really nothing, couldn't get sound or anything. So I didn't get to watch it live, unfortunately. I had to wait until the next day to watch it. I was very angry. So, yeah.
All right. Well, as far as this episode, that you finally did get to watch it, though.
Yes, the next day.
So what's our A, B, and C for this one, Karen?
Rounding them up again and again.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that's Negan, but
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. It was a play on words, I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
MILF, Mom I'd Like to Follow.
Hey now. No.
Yeah. And NC Story Head Case.
Head case. Okay.
Just for the ending part.
So rounding them up, Negan.
And
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, that's the main story.
That's the main story where we have essentially we're trying to get poor Maggie, who's suffering from a dangerous pregnancy right now.
She's in distress.
Yeah,
Yes, her fetus is in distress.
Yeah, and she's feverish and may lose the baby.
Right. They're trying to get her to Hilltop, I'm assuming.
Right. Because remember they had that obstetrician there, thankfully.
Right.
So yeah, what better place? Unfortunately, Negan's crew, the Saviors, is everywhere, as we find out in this episode over and over again.
Right.
Because every time that they all hop in an RV and they all road trip it, trying to go get Maggie to Hilltop. But every road they take ends up blockaded by the Saviors, so they have to back the RV up and take another road and hope that that one's not blockaded. But of course, they all are.
Right. Because the Saviors have 1 million people in them.
Right. And because this episode was extended an extra half an hour, we got to see over and over the RV backing up. Gotta go take another road. Oh, let's take, like we consult the map. Oh, we could take this road. Okay. And that one ends up blockaded. Bum, 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 bum.
Right. Exactly.
And then we start all over.
See Negan's, one of his generals who is actually in GTA 4.
GTA 4.
Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm not all hip on the
No, it's okay.
The gamer acronyms.
He looks just like the character he plays in Grand Theft Auto 4. So I was like, "Oh my God." It's the guy, the scraggly beardy guy that comes out and he's dragging the guy on the ground.
Right.
Yeah, it's that guy. And
I've seen the commercials. I haven't played.
I have got to look him up and make sure it's the same guy. And it was the guy. So very cool. And then of course the Red Rovers.
Right.
That they had everyone surrounded on the sides, and the Red Rovers were in the middle of the road.
Now, I saw this coming a mile away, so I don't know why Rick and his group.
Why did they even get out?
I don't know, because you basically have them sort of like in a canyon,
right?
In a kill box, essentially. Yeah. If you know what the term kill box is, the killing floor, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you've got zombies in the road. Oh, this can't possibly. It can't just, we can get rid of the zombies and move along. No. Right. And just because, hey, we've got this great forest around us for cover.
Mm-hmm.
So, duh.
So
of course, it's a trap.
Now, I get that why they didn't drive through because there was a chain.
Right.
Would you have just turned around
I
and not
would.
wasted any more time?
I wouldn't even. Yeah, I wouldn't even stepped out of the RV. I'm just like, okay,
Right.
this is obviously a trap.
Right.
Moving on.
But we've said before they're just the worst.
They
They're
are the worst because they
yeah,
get out of the RV and they start messing with the zombies, and then of course they start taking fire.
right.
It hits the RV and all this.
Mhm.
So, what's to keep a bullet from going through the RV and killing poor Maggie inside?
Right, right. So
Dumb,
I'm wondering,
dumb, dumb, dumb.
they went down a road and there was a big blockade with guys standing there and then they turned around. I think I would have turned around and waited like a half an hour and then gone back down that road again.
Right. Wait
To
for
see if
them to
they
leave. Yeah, to see.
right. To see if they dispersed.
Yep.
Because that would have been the smartest thing, right? Other than to find another way.
Yeah. I want to know what happened to Abraham's RPGs because
Yeah.
remember he had a ton of those things.
Why didn't he just
They've
shoot?
they've only used 2 of them.
I know.
So why didn't you just bring an RPG along, blow up the blockade,
Yeah.
drive, and we're running right through the blockade
Right.
after it gets blown up. Haven't you ever
Right.
seen Stripes? I mean, come on.
Right.
They did,
Right.
that guard
Do, do,
station,
do,
yeah,
do,
where they
do,
best
do.
the EM50.
Yes.
So,
Really.
so if you saw
And
Stripes,
I
it can be
really
done.
do understand them not wanting to damage the RV because that is a precious commodity.
Right.
But there are ways that they could have gotten through just people and cars. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know.
Well,
The,
the first blockade they come across though is just guys,
right.
right? Right?
Yeah.
They're
So
just
drive through
so
them.
so take the RPG, blow up that whole thing, and drive right through.
Right. Or they could have just driven through them,
Yeah,
period.
yeah.
Right?
Well, maybe they didn't want to take fire from the guys because they
Okay.
did have
Yeah.
they had weapons.
Yeah.
So you soften them up with an RPG,
Soften them up.
then you gun it and you floor right through and you can get
Yeah.
to the hilltop.
Yeah. They could have made like a little turret.
Yeah, yeah. Haven't you ever seen the A Team?
Right.
Like fortify the RV, put the
Yeah.
little armor plating on the RV, and now, granted, you're probably in a rush because of Maggie, but
They could have done it weeks and weeks ago.
yeah,
Made a battle tank out of that RV.
battle RV. Yeah,
Right.
yep.
They should have known they needed something like that.
So yeah, this
Ugh.
Mr. Like, oh, we're prepared for
They're
anything.
the worst.
They are
They're too overconfident.
well, obviously that's the whole point that was in the comic. At this point, was to kind of take him back down a peg
Mhm.
and get him a little bit grounded back in reality. Like,
Because
oh, maybe you need to be a little smarter.
yeah, they had too many victories
It was
easily.
too exactly. So just when they're comfortable, oh, guess what? We're gonna yank the rug right out from under you,
Right.
and now you have to do a little thinking ahead and planning.
Right. Now, my move would have been, "Hey, look, you got us. Why don't you just take everything and we join you?
Right,
Not only will we work for you, we'll help you get more stuff."
right. Oh, so you mean be a collaborator?
Sure.
Like say, okay, you
You need
got
more
us.
troops? I'll
You
be one of your troops.
right. But I think, do you think it's Rick's pride that's keeping them
Yeah,
from doing that?
100%.
Okay,
I think it is.
okay.
And
Now,
I think that he inspires that sort of feeling in everyone else. We'll stand by him. But personally, I would want to be on Negan's side at that point.
hmm,
They're
no,
dicks,
right.
but they're dicks that win.
See,
You know what I mean?
and it seems like they've got every high school bully has grown up and joined Negan's gang. Negan's gang.
Okay, but look at it from their side.
Yeah.
They're playing this the way that it's got to be played in the post-apocalypse,
Right.
right?
Right. But they're all jerks.
Yeah, of
Every one
course
of
they
them.
are. We
Yeah.
take what we got to take to survive. That's what they do.
Right.
And we take it from everyone.
Hmm.
So screw them, right?
Interesting.
I see what they're doing.
Right.
I'm not saying it's right, but that's what they think is right.
Oh,
We're surviving like this.
now see, I could see playing along for a little while until you had your opening and then take out
Sure.
Negan,
Sure, why not?
right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, except for those guys might have done it already if it was that easy.
Yeah.
because there's like hundreds of dudes that he's got under him.
Yeah, and so we got the introduction of Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan.
So good.
So if you saw him as the comedian in the Watchmen movie, you know he's pretty good casting for Negan.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah,
That was the bright shining star in this episode, was him.
because Jeffrey Dean Morgan can play these like cocky, arrogant, douchebag villains
Yeah.
so well.
Although if you ever saw him on Grey's Anatomy, it's
Well,
quite the turnaround.
well, I'm sure he's got range. I'm not saying
Yeah.
he only does that,
Yeah.
but
He played a guy who was suffering from a terminal illness, and he fell in love with one of the interns,
yep.
and they got married, and he ended up dying anyway. And he was just the most sympathetic character ever, and everyone fell in love with him.
hmm Oh, there's a sigh.
I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I really do.
Now
And
you know that
it's not that sort of like, oh, sigh, I love him. I think he's an amazing actor.
he is an amazing actor. I will give
Right.
you that. Did you know he played Thomas Wayne
Yes.
in Batman vs Superman?
Mm-hmm.
And Martha Wayne in the movie was played by none other than Maggie from The Walking Dead.
Really?
Lauren Cohen.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of Negan is married to Maggie in another continuity.
Very weird.
Yeah,
And comic book continuity too, because this
Yeah.
is comic book as well. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Very
yeah,
strange.
yeah,
And I loved his biker look in this.
right. Well, that was right out of the comics. his look.
Yeah. I'm just saying it was amazing how much he was Negan. I mean, he was Negan. And he was delighting in being Negan when he appeared on Talking Dead too. You could see how happy he was to play this role.
Right.
I just,
Well, I mean, it is kind of like we saw the kind of reaction the governor got.
mm-hmm.
So if he can capture some of that magic, and Negan is a great character enough to do that.
Yeah.
So we could be in season 7 could be fantastic.
Yeah, I can't wait. I really can't wait.
It should be.
Yeah.
But so what's our B story? MILF, Mama
That's
Likes
Carol.
Okay.
Who got followed not only by Morgan, but by Roman.
Right.
Roman.
Yeah. Yeah, the another savior with a little grudge.
A big grudge.
Well, because remember last week, Carol took out a whole bunch of those, like she pulled out the stealth machine guns out of her sleeve.
Right.
Nothing up my sleeve, presto! And then
Didn't know my own strength.
blows everybody away.
Yeah, he was the lone survivor of the savior truck.
Right.
And he followed her to
the truck dicks.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
Followed her to the ranch house where she was kind of hurt and recovering, or I guess she lied dying essentially in that ranch house.
Right.
And he was gonna make her suffer.
Right.
He caught her outside.
Yeah, she's grimacing on pain on the ground at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's got his gun pointed right at her.
Yeah.
And this it gets really dark.
Yeah.
Because Carol says, "Oh, she's going to die, so there's nothing wrong with her anymore."
Right.
Which tells you a lot of where her head's at right now.
Right.
So the dude shoots her in the leg and asks if she thinks that's enough, that she suffered enough. But then, Carol's just like, nope. You got to kill me.
Right.
So she's looking.
And of course,
to die.
he doesn't want to.
No.
She shouldn't have asked for that because that's gonna make him not kill her.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he wants her to suffer.
Right.
He watched all the guys, the truck dicks. He watched all them die slowly.
Now, you don't think this was a ploy by Carol, like I want to die, like reverse psychology? I'm going to tell the guy I want to die.
No, I think that's why she went out.
Okay.
Was that she was going to take a bunch of guys with her, but she was going to essentially, that was her way of committing suicide.
Right.
But she wanted to take as many of the bad guys with her as she could. That was her way of helping the community as well. Mm-hmm. So I think that was her dealio.
Yeah. And then Morgan
kind of happy that the guy caught her.
Right. She was hoping he would take her out.
Right.
Okay. And then Morgan shows up, of course. So thanks, Morgan, for ruining my suicide by savior.
Yeah. With the horse and the guys with the armor on again, who I think are part of the kingdom.
I think you're right about that.
So
Now, kudos for The Walking Dead for getting a horse through an entire episode and not killing it
I know,
by
right?
zombies.
Yeah,
They love to kill horses on The
they
Walking Dead.
do. I
So,
know.
so maybe they figured, well, we've gone to that well once too often. We need to take a break from that.
Yeah.
But
And
yes.
Morgan and his signs. He comes across that sign that
Oh
says,
yeah,
"You
yeah, yeah.
are alive."
Right. What do you think that's about?
I don't know. He says it back to the horse.
Right.
But he's always finding signs.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what do you call it?
Foreshadowing.
No, it's a parallel with him seeing actual, like figurative signs.
Okay.
Like he sees signs and things that happen.
Okay, like an allegory or something.
That's it. An
Okay.
allegory for the signs that he thinks he sees and what goes on around him as well.
Gotcha.
But he's always like putting signs, like, making signs and seeing signs. The sign to Alexandria, he turned away from it. And Terminus, he saw that sign as well. It's been that way for him from the beginning with signs.
That's an interesting recurring metaphor for
It is.
for Morgan.
And he went crazy drawing all those signs in his little circle. And so, I mean, it's just, he's all about the signs.
He saw the sign.
And it didn't open up his mind.
Nope.
And you notice he killed to save Carol in this episode. And Carol is trying not to kill. So
right. The roles are reversed now.
They've changed.
Which we've talked about we thought was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
exactly.
Morgan finally broke his little pacifism pact and blew the savior guy away to save Carol.
Exactly.
So
and Carol's whole thing is, I don't think I'll be able to kill for anyone anymore.
Right.
So
which we hope not, because she's so awesome at it.
I know she really is.
It would be such a sad, tragic waste of her character to go back to I can't kill anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although at least Morgan now is killing again, so
yeah.
Thank God for that.
At least this one.
Yeah, but it's like Lay's potato chips. You can't eat just one. So
I know.
so you kill one guy, it just takes
so
guy.
Do you think this is okay? And this is going to sound stupid because I just was talking about signs, but do you think this is a sign of things to come for him?
Maybe.
That he's gonna, I don't know, do something with the saviors to make a dent?
Well, remember, yeah, because right now where we leave everybody off at the finale, they're all pretty much captured by Negan's group. There's some people in Alexandria still.
In the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, yeah.
But the major major remaining players though are Carol and Morgan.
Right.
Who are out there.
Right.
So
are they going to get caught? Are they going to go back to Alexandria? What's going to be the deal with them?
That's a good question. We'll have to find out, but
yeah, because I would like for them to go and maybe take out some guys at Negan's camp on the fringe and maybe get Maggie to Hilltop.
Yeah. If this was traditional Carol, I would say just go for it and rescue Rick's group and just go
or at least Maggie.
Yeah, exactly. So just go to town and maybe rescue Maggie at least. But now the way Carol's head is at right now, I would say the safer bet probably go back to Alexandria for reinforcements.
Right. I would too.
Yeah.
But what reinforcements are there?
Sasha in the no, Sasha was in the group, wasn't she?
No.
No, Sasha wasn't in the group.
Mm-mm.
So Sasha's still in play.
Yeah.
And Enid's locked in the closet, which I thought was kind of funny.
So Enid, yeah.
Enid's still available.
Tobin's still there.
Tobin's still there.
He's useless though.
Yeah.
Really, there's almost no one there that can be of use. I mean, they're all minor.
What about what's her name's son? The
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the former leader of Alexandria.
Deanna's son.
Deanna's son, yeah.
Right.
So he's
still there. He could be some help.
We'll
but
see.
they're not really.
No,
They're
it's
not a match for the guys that are
these would definitely be
caught.
the second stringers.
Right. And
So
if the first stringers got caught, then
except for Sasha.
right.
So maybe Morgan dumps Carol off, but gets Sasha as a replacement, and they go off.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
with Negan's guys busy with the first stringers, maybe there's a
Yeah.
chance. But who knows? We'll have to find out. And we do know
Oh, we got
some-
Heath. Heath is still out there too.
Heath. There we go. And they've said Heath is coming back next season, by the
Oh
way.
yeah, because he's the new Glenn.
Right. Yeah, I guess so.
Just saying, he's the new scavenger guy.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say something and now I've forgotten because you said the new
sorry.
Glenn and I was like,
I'm sorry.
Glenn. No,
Yeah,
it's and in the comics we do know that Maggie and Carol kind of hole up at Hilltop.
right.
So that would make sense if they at least rescue Maggie.
Right. So
If they
if they do at least a quick, in and out, we can't get everybody, but we can get Maggie.
Right.
So we'll
Yeah,
see.
they end up seceding and
Right.
going to Hilltop and kind of ruling that area themselves.
Okay.
So I don't know, that it would make sense at least.
All right. So moving on to head case.
Head case, and that was really just the ending of the episode,
Right.
which is the only part of the episode that people really had a huge issue with.
I think so.
And I have to say I did as well.
Yeah, I did too. And after all the buildup, and having read the comics, and this is where it kind of frustrated me because I felt, and maybe you agree with me on this, that the impact of that scene was to see the body,
Mm-hmm.
like bashed up, head right
Yep.
there, and the shock, and then you cut to black, and that would have been a much stronger ending than the one we got, where
Agreed.
it's point of view, and as you posted in our Google Doc that Nathan Fillion made a joke about,
Right.
that all that trouble, and then Negan chooses the cameraman,
Right.
which a lot of people made that joke because he killed the cameraman.
Right. Yeah. And, people are saying, oh, well, there's going to be a cliffhanger. Well, not every show did a cliffhanger in the olden days. The first show to really ever do a cliffhanger was
Right.
Dallas.
Right.
No shows did cliffhangers before then.
Right.
No shows did. And people would still watch The Walking Dead in the fall without a cliffhanger.
Exactly.
This is stupid.
Exactly. It's not like people are
necessary.
not going to come back for The Walking Dead.
Right.
My point
Not
though,
necessary.
my point about that though is that the cliffhanger wasn't in who Negan killed.
Mm-hmm.
The cliffhanger should have been what
How they
happens
react.
next.
Right.
What happens
I agree.
next?
I agree.
Like,
And I think the impact is lessened by 70%
right.
if we wait to see who it was. Right?
Right.
Because that shock value needs to come right away.
Right. Now, kudos to Chris Hardwick. If you saw The Talking Dead afterward, he did, make a comment that he went on Twitter and saw the reaction and tried to kind of get across that people weren't digging the ending
Mm-hmm.
to Scott Gimple
Yes.
and Kirkman, who were on
Yeah.
the show that
Yeah.
evening. But
He's not shy about speaking up.
no, yeah, kudos to him because really he could have just totally glossed over that. So kudos for him to dressing it up. Unfortunately, Gimple's reaction really disappointed me because he's
Yeah.
trying to blow the whole thing off.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't
And
care.
I don't know if he doesn't care, but I think he was so wrapped up in what he thought it should have been, and he wanted oh, this is going to be a great cliffhanger to get people to watch season 7.
Yeah, and it
No,
didn't
no,
need
but it did.
to be.
But it did it well in that it did kind of destroyed a pretty seminal scene from the comic
Yeah.
as a result.
And it really makes me wonder, okay, number one, how much is Kirkman involved?
I think
And
marginally.
and number two, if he's involved at all, why would he let it go like that? Because I would think really that he understands the impact that it would make to let that go until next season. Because I think the death needs to happen right away, and then the reaction can wait.
Right.
But if you wait on the death, it's like,
Yeah. It's just like we had all season. We knew it was coming. We knew
Right.
Negan was going to be there. We knew that was going to be the opening scene.
Right.
And
And
then
then it's
now
like,
you just like,
ah,
bum, bum, bum,
right.
bum.
Literally.
So, so yeah, a great moment, a great, like, I think it would have been much more stronger as an ending. So yeah, I think there was a great opportunity wasted here.
Very much so. Yeah, and it's not that I didn't find out who it was. I can wait to find out who it was. I have no issue with cliffhangers. I'm an adult.
Right. Yeah,
I have patience, but it's that I think the choice was a bad one.
I do too. I think it essentially felt to me like and I made this joke. It's the Sopranos finale. This walking, where they cut to black. You don't get to find out. You don't get to see the scene you
Don't
wanted.
stop
Yeah, exactly. I kept wait.
believing.
Yeah, where
Yes.
was Journey? Why was that not coming? Like I'm sure somebody's done this on YouTube where they use the Sopranos ending on the Walking Dead season 6
Yes.
finale.
Now, the thing I did like was the way they shot that
Right.
through the camera lens sort of thing,
Yeah.
but it would have been better if once that blacked out, if they showed who it was.
Right.
And I'm assuming that's what's going to happen when it comes back. But because they said they were going to show that whole scene again when it comes
Right.
back.
We'll
But
see. Yeah.
it's so dumb.
The,
Just
mo-
dumb.
the moment was lost. It was there.
Yes.
They had it in their hands and then they dropped it.
Right.
It's a
So dumb.
it's a drop touchdown as far as
That
I'm
it's
concerned.
definitely a Gimple move
Yep.
and
You,
just dumb.
you got gimpled, yo.
Right. Dumb, dumb, dumb.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
okay. So rating for this episode.
I gave it, and it's because of that ending,
Right.
7.5, rewritten for cable soliloquies.
Yeah. I
Because
was
they could not say the F word at all.
right. I'd drop some points on this as well, mostly because of that extra half hour and just the repetitiveness of the RV dries up, RV gets blockaded, RV backs up, move on, rinse, repeat.
Right.
That, and then of course, yes, the ending, which we've gone ad nauseum on
Right.
now. But yeah, so I give this one 8 out of 10 baseball bats wrapped in barbed wire.
Lucille.
Yeah, yep. So we got to see Lucille, which is great. We got to
You
see
picked the
Jeffrey Dean
finest
Morgan.
time to leave me, Lucille.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's good. Little Kenny Rogers for you.
That's right.
That should have been our song at the end of the episode.
Oh, it should have been.
Yeah. Oh, well.
4 hungry children.
Yep.
And a crop in the fields.
And everybody that doesn't watch The Walking Dead would be like, I don't get
What?
it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Uh,
All two of you that don't watch The
yeah,
Walking
I
Dead.
agree. It could have. I feel like the 90 minutes was just gratuitous.
It
Like,
was. I think it would have been a much better episode as just 60 minutes, and you show the victim,
the actual scene. Yeah.
show the victim, and just the horror, and then you cut it. And that
Right.
would have been much
Yelling and
stronger.
screaming and blackness.
So bad creative decision there,
Would have
Gimple.
been so much better.
All right, moving on.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, we could do that. All right.
Oh, which one were you gonna do?
I was gonna do iZombie, but we can do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's cool. I'm
All right.
flexible. I'm
Whichever
flexible.
one you want to do.
I'm flexible.
All right. Agents
Uh,
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
All right, episode 15 of the third season, Space Time.
That's right.
Written by Marissa Tencherowin
Oh.
and Jed Whedon,
Oh.
her partner, in more
In
ways than one.
crime, I guess.
Yeah, in more ways than one.
Aren't they married?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And directed by Kevin Tencherowin, keeping it all in the family.
So brother.
Probably.
Okay, I'm assuming so.
I'm assuming so. So yeah, what's our A, B, and C, Karen?
Future Imperfect.
Right.
Oh, I can't see because your name was over it. It's all right. B Story's Power Shift.
It's all my fault. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Power Shift. And that refers to Hive taking over.
Mm-hmm.
And Lashing Out.
Right. Okay, so Future Imperfect, I'm presuming, refers to the timey-wimey nature of this episode.
It certainly does. And I have to say, I watched this with my husband.
Right.
And again, the second time I was thwarted watching something live because breaking news, Bernie Sanders wins Wisconsin right in the middle of the episode.
I thankfully watched it on demand the day after.
Well, I had to do that the day after
but
as
but
well.
my point is, I think Yeah, I think now watching television on Tuesdays is pretty much a wash because you're
Yeah,
going to get interrupted with election coverage.
right. It
So,
was like 10 minutes right in the middle of the
yep.
episode, which is like half the show is
Yeah, and
gone.
ABC loves to break into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with election coverage.
I don't get it.
It's only
So
the primaries, but apparently we like for some reason ABC thinks that cable news does not exist
right.
and we have to it's important that we break into the show that
We have to know right
we
away.
have to know right away.
And I was like, I so don't care right
Like
now
like
about
suddenly
this.
people don't have Twitter, they don't have the
Right,
internet. They
right.
can't just find out they don't know
I
already.
guess they don't know it turns us off.
Well, now, I mean, back in, like back in the ye olden days before the internet, I can understand them doing that because
And there
you,
are things that I would be okay with them. I mean, if there was something really bad
right,
happening,
right.
I'd wanna know, but election coverage?
Yeah, well, and especially
There
it's primary
right.
coverage.
No, thank you.
If it was like the actual presidential election, sure, break in with that because it's
No, not even that.
not even that.
Do that on the half hour or hour during
No,
the commercial breaks.
okay. Well, they're not going to skimp on the commercials.
No, that's for sure.
They interrupt during the show.
Yeah.
Like we don't
Well,
give a crap. We don't give a crap about the show. We give
schedule that then.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so,
Do it like an election special,
yes,
and then talk about it then.
right.
Yeah,
Just clear your programming that night.
yeah.
Okay, so anyway, Future Imperfect. My
Right,
husband and I were watching this, and part of it that did show
right,
was where, Fitz was showing them how time worked in
right.
the 4th dimension, and I
I'm kind of laughing at that. I was waiting for the doctor to walk in and go,
I know,
no,
right?
no, dude, no, no, you've got it all wrong.
Yeah. But he was, drawing on that ream of
Yeah,
paper, and even though it was, I thought it didn't make a lot of sense,
yeah,
I
because
thought, "I understand what he's saying," and my
yeah.
husband was like, "Well, I'm glad you do, because I don't." And I was like, "Alright."
All right, so speaking obviously as a Doctor Who fan who is big into time travel stories and big into like quantum physics and things of that nature,
Mhm.
and quantum mechanics. Um, I had a problem with Fitz's like insistence that everything is predetermined.
Right, me too.
And
But that's his fatalism, I think.
I think so, but that's, and I understand that. Okay, that's the character's take,
Right,
but there really should have been somebody going, no, well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's more in
right.
flux than you think it is. But he was just like, nope, nope. It's everybody shut up. This is how time works, and
Well, and he
this is the
was
way it's got to
kind
be.
of proven correct, because everything happened.
Right, but he shouldn't have been certain about that.
I know.
Has he time traveled that we know
No,
of?
I know.
No. So
I
yeah,
know.
Fitz just seemed a little too certain for my
I
liking.
know.
Okay.
But he
Now,
is presenting a
yeah,
theory that a lot of people
yeah,
have,
yeah.
that it's another dimension.
Now, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did something pretty sly here. I want to bring up. Um, a lot of people probably don't know this if you watch the episode. All right, the guy that was able to see into the future,
Mhm.
a guy named Charles, no
Nice.
relation,
No
no
relation.
relation. Um, but so this guy named was an inhuman named Charles Hinton.
Mhm.
Now there's a real Charles Hinton, a Charles Howard Hinton, who was a British mathematician and writer of science fiction works titled Scientific Romances. And he was interested in higher dimensions, particularly the fourth dimension,
Mm,
i.e., time.
time.
So
Right.
very sly.
I thought I
Uh,
recognized the
Tin
name Hinton.
Whedon and Tincherwin, very sly.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I just thought that was really curious. So I'm guessing it was a direct nod, but anyway.
Very cool.
So yeah, so this whole thing, there's the drama is that this poor homeless guy, Hinton, he's he get like Shield intercepts this emergency call about Daisy Johnson because they scan the internet constantly and phone communications or whatever. So they find the caller, who's like this homeless guy named Charles Hinton. He learns like he learns Daisy Johnson's name before it ends up getting murdered. Or no, I'm sorry. Was it? Okay, the caller was shown a vision of his death by Hinton, and then the guy learned Daisy Johnson's name before getting murdered by Hydra, who captured Hinton.
Right.
Right? Okay,
Mhm.
I had to keep that straight.
Yeah,
So
he saw the whole thing, And that's why he called for Daisy.
Right. So
Because
Daisy,
he saw Daisy.
exactly. It's
Right.
it's basically a bootstrap paradox.
Right. The whole episode was a bootstrap paradox.
Right. Exactly. So again, more Doctor Who. But
Yes.
so
I
Daisy,
especially like the complete bootstrap paradox in Fitz and Simmons having to hold hands.
right.
I guess we have to hold hands now.
Right. Well, that was Fitz's. Well, this has got to happen, so we do
Right.
it. Yeah.
Right.
Um. So yeah, time cannot be rewritten according to Leo Fitz.
If I was Simmons, I would have run and
Yeah.
just went, ha
Screw you, time.
Right.
Suck it, time.
Screw you, Tim. I'm going home.
Yep. So
I'm sorry.
so but Daisy gets is able to touch Charles Hinton. So she gets a vision of his death, right?
Right.
Okay.
But she doesn't know.
Right. She hasn't pieced it together yet.
Right.
Yeah, so their Shield is desperate to prove that fate's not fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So screw you, Fitz. But
Mm-hmm.
so they keep trying to avoid Daisy's vision by playing out this whole scene of events with May substituted for Daisy.
So that she is out of danger.
Right.
Mhm.
Now May, she practices so she can get the time to do these events down because with Daisy's power, it would have been a lot faster for her to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But she ends up eventually doing it anyway because
Andrew shows up.
Yep.
And that he is insisting that he's going to turn into Lash, and so
Right.
he wants to spend his last few minutes with May.
Right. But no, but then she tells him that, oh, hey, guess what? We got this cure, maybe.
Maybe.
So the Creel vaccine. So they give Andrew the Creel vaccine, but
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
Much.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, we failed on the fail music. There we go.
Hit it, but it didn't want to go. There it is.
A little slow in the uptake there, fail music.
Well, it failed itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
it was so it failed.
Yeah, so he turns into Lash, presumably for the last time, right?
I'm guessing he's just Lash for good now.
Yeah.
Is that what he's saying?
Well, he felt like he said, well, this is going to be it.
Yeah.
This is the last time I can transform.
Yeah.
Which I never understood why he could just go back and forth anyway. But
right. He should have just changed
and then get locked in.
Right.
So, but now he can. Now he's locked in.
If it was gradual, you would think he would just like start growing hair.
Yeah. So I get. Yeah. So or yeah, he'd start. Yes. Gradual shift. Yeah.
Right. But no, he turns completely into Lash and then back to Andrew.
Yeah. So we're probably going to see the last of Blair Underwood.
I'm guessing, unless they find a way to cure him, but
who knows? We'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay. So power shift.
That is Hive and
right.
Malik.
Right.
Back at headquarters, but at the end, it turns out that Malik wants to call his guy back, and his guy stays with Hive.
Right.
So that's the power shift. But
yeah, we had a thing there at the end.
Yeah.
Where Ward wants Gaia to go to this particular location to get some technology other than the exoskeleton that they got.
Yeah.
So and
now they're using Future Guy.
Yeah, Malik got that exoskeleton. He's like, hey, this is pretty sweet.
Right. There's a lot of power exchanges between the two of them.
Right. I think Malik is unwittingly getting set up for a big fall here.
And he touches Charles.
Right.
And he sees something he is not happy about. Yeah, I know. It's bad touch. It is bad touch.
Right. No touchy.
Yeah. He sees something he is
bad touch.
Pretty freaked out about. And that's why he calls his second in command to his side.
Right.
But no, the dude is not going to come to his aid.
Yeah, Geyer is like, dude, I'm staying right where I am.
Yep.
I'm right where I'm supposed to be. So you can suck it. And
you can suck it.
And yeah, and then he tells Ward that Malik sounds afraid.
Yep.
So I sense much fear in you.
Uh-huh.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate.
Davis can suck it.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much.
Archer. Always the Archer.
Right. So lashing out, we talked about.
Yeah, that's
So that's very
kind
much
of
it.
it.
Yeah, yeah. So end up. Well, the bottom line is okay. uh, Charles Hinton saves Daisy by distracting Malik. He gives them both the visions, what we talked about, and then
Right,
but Daisy's vision is that she's a Shield agent dying. There's a Shield agent. We don't know who because mystery box.
right.
Agent dying in space, which is what we've been teased here a couple
Beep,
times. And
beep,
then then
beep.
then Hinton ends up dying.
Right.
So even though we've seen um, the Yo-Yo's cross floating in space. So right now I got to think that Yo-Yo's the one who dies
You think?
at the moment, unless we see something otherwise.
Could be.
But right now she's this prime suspect.
So Daisy is there, do you think?
Well, yeah. I mean, because
She has to be,
we
right?
know that they're forming a secret warriors team. So presumably there's a mission where the team goes up into space. Bad things happen in space.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so probably, yeah, it's going to go all higgledy-piggledy. And yeah, somebody's going to die.
Right.
Because this is a Whedon show, so somebody will die,
Well, that's true.
right?
Yeah.
Remember, there's the Gur-Arg at the end, so yeah,
Grr, arg.
there will
Yeah.
be a death.
Mm-hmm.
Expect it.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
So what?
Okay. Oh, Lola Gladini, who
Okay.
played Polly Hinton,
Okay.
the wife of Charles Hinton.
Yes.
I recognized her from somewhere. She was on The Sopranos. She played Agent Cicerone,
Okay.
one of the two FBI agents
Okay.
on The Sopranos.
Yeah, probably the one. Yeah, one of the ones that was putting the screws over on what's her name? It's
Yeah,
been a while.
Christopher's
Yeah,
girlfriend.
Christopher's girlfriend. Yeah, so I
And she was on NYPD Blue as well.
right. Who was
Dolores
also,
Mayo.
and of course, Christopher's girlfriend was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. last season as the chick with the
That's right, with
fingers.
the things
With the fingers. Yeah, like
on her fingers.
yeah,
Almost like the things that Malik had on this episode.
yeah,
Almost,
almost.
but
You're
not
right.
quite.
But yeah, so I just brought that full circle back to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's right, you sure did. Very nice. She looked familiar and I meant to look her up before, so.
Yeah, I feel bad I can't remember their actress's name, but so apologies there. All right, so rating.
I gave it 7.5 Nehru jackets. I was okay with it.
Yeah, it just wasn't great.
It was just meh for
Yeah, it
me.
was. Yeah, I no, I kind of because of the timey-wimey nature, I'm a sucker for that. So
I
I
know
give
you
this
are.
one. I'm a little higher on this one, and I thought they did pretty well with it for the
Mm-hmm.
most part. Although apart from Fitz's fatalism, as you pointed
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, that was the part that I don't like is I
Yeah,
don't like when he's all like, "Ugh,
yeah,
I don't like anything and I hate everything."
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on Twitter and bitch about stuff.
Yeah.
Ugh. Like, what is it with all these women in Star Wars? This sucks.
Exactly. He's always rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I give this one a little higher because I like time travels or timey-wimey stories like this. 8.5 out of 10 carved wooden robins
Yeah.
because
I
that's
Charles made me in this episode.
yeah.
Charles made me a little teary. I liked his character in this episode.
Those Charleses always making you teary.
It's true. It is true.
We depress
Only
everybody. No.
you for a different reason.
And why I oughta
iZombie next.
iZombie. Reflections of the way live used to be. Yep. A great title. Love it. Love that. Written by Bob Dearden, directed by Michael Fields. And what's our A, B, and C, Karen?
Well, first of all, we had the literal Rob Thomas in
Right.
this episode.
Yes, we
So I just wanted to give that shout out that both Rob Thomases were involved with this episode. The A story was OCD's nuts for both candidates and
Right.
the cougarific killer, because that guy in the restaurant thingy, he was pretty hot. The B story is Ravi's major dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
And the C story is Lily White as the driven snow, which is like totally not white.
Right.
And our bonus is when will Bobby know?
Really?
Because I'm getting really tired of him.
I
being
know.
clueless.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But
Okay.
so OCD's nuts.
Yes. So we have like the OCD candidate and then bro
Yeah.
candidate.
Yeah.
So I
So
smushed them together.
so the premise of this episode is that Liv kind of and like as the title insists, she gets to kind of reflect on the person she used to be
Mm-hmm.
before she became a zombie,
Right.
where
Which
she
was
was
a very uptight overachiever.
yeah, because we have Brain of the Week Bailey, who is this type A Adderall popping overachiever,
Mm-hmm.
who's destined for greatness until she ends up getting killed and dumped in a pool, and some skinny dipping co-eds find her.
Yep.
So and
That's
then
it. It's
Ravi, I think, makes a joke, like a Godfather joke about swimming with the fishes or something like that.
yes, he does. And that's that's the way to warn people against skinny dipping.
Right.
This is
Because you never know, you might find a dead body in the pool.
right. It's always a morality tale.
Right. Did you ever see Friday the 13th? Come on.
Right, exactly.
You never skinny dip in a Friday the 13th movie.
Exactly. And
Never.
never have sex in the woods. Never
Yep.
yeah, exactly.
But so Livin ends up eating Bailey's brain, of course, because not and interestingly, okay, she doesn't do it just to solve the case, but she does it to understand herself,
Mm-hmm. She's very introspective.
which is kind of like the first for this show because typically Liv does it to solve the case.
This is twice now where she's eaten a brain not because of the case. She ate the perky person's brain because she didn't want to eat the brain of the week.
Oh, okay.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I take that back. So there was
No,
another
no,
time.
no. She
Well,
still ate the brain of the week that same week.
right.
But she requested some of the perky brain as well.
Yeah.
And then this time she ate one for a specific purpose.
Right. Okay. I see the difference now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this was for the case of the week as well, but she also wanted to check in with her old self, essentially, right? I mean,
Right.
touch base with herself. And I like that she asked Ravi, would we have been friends
Yeah.
if you had met this version of me? And, that's a very interesting question. I thought
Right.
about it for a few minutes myself. And number one, she wouldn't have interacted with him.
Right. Because
Right?
she never would have joined the morgue
Right.
because of never being a zombie. So really, yeah, because you remember she went to the morgue because to get access to brains.
Right. She switched. And not just that, but she couldn't
Yeah.
be in
She
the
became
hospital.
an ME, I should say.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't work around live people if
Right.
you're a zombie, right? You
Well,
can't
or there's the graveyard as in the comics.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. But the Emmy is better.
Yeah, it's a little yeah, you get probably fresher brains that way.
Sure.
I would think. But so Liv, like she keeps having memories of the way she used to be. She talks about being a praiseaholic
Mm-hmm.
that runs on compliments. So
And she does here as well.
yep. Now
She loves getting Bobineau's comments.
yeah. And it's kind of interesting because like she does this whole big like she goes home and she's organizing the kitchen for her and Peyton. There's a great little scene there.
Yeah.
And then, Peyton makes a great joke about how she doesn't want Liv to eat another brain until she's finished what she's done in the kitchen.
Right.
I like that a lot.
Keep cleaning up.
Yeah, yeah. You're not
And
gonna
then
eat another brain until you finish this, right?
Yeah. She puts together that binder for the case as
Right.
well. And
Now,
and Clive is all like,
yeah,
this is a lot of detail.
yeah,
That's a lot of initiative.
yeah. So,
Make sure you take note of that for my next performance review.
right.
It's so funny. I love
So
it.
the best thing really that happened to Liv was that she became a zombie.
Mm-hmm. I think
Because
so too.
because if she would have been stuck like that, how horrible would that have been?
Ugh. I wouldn't have liked her. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. We do need like a flashback episode, just to
Yeah.
like going back and seeing what she would have been like.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see that for one
I would
episode
too.
only. Just one.
It would be a horrible show.
It would be, but it'd be it'd just be kind of
It
interesting.
wouldn't be a show,
Yeah.
actually, because she wouldn't have ever been a zombie. And
Yeah, yeah. Prequel episode, I guess. All right.
I'm making fun of what I said.
I know you are. I was moving on.
Okay.
So the Cougarific Killer. Want to explain that?
Well, no, I was just saying that the guy's cute
Oh, okay.
that killed him.
Oh, I see.
Killed her. Sorry.
Yeah, Yeah, because it turns out to be, like,
But he was
turn,
put up to it by the other cop.
yeah. So Benedetto is this cop who's like played Keith Mars on Veronica Mars.
Yes, Enrico Colantonio. Cola.
That's
I,
easy
I
for you to
can't.
say.
I can't pronounce his last name right, but
It
yeah,
sounded
he
good.
played.
Whatever you did, it sounded good.
Thank you. He played a mob boss on Person of Interest as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's such a great actor. He was also in Galaxy Quest and a bunch of other stuff. So
So here he's playing a little shady detective.
hmm a
Um,
lot shady.
a lot shady. And you know he's shady because he's got a pork pie hat.
He has that same hat
Yeah.
in Person of Interest, but he's a mob boss. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's that.
So he's got his own little informant program on the side, apparently, we find out.
hmm
Um, so Bailey, the brain of the week, apparently was one of his informants,
Right.
but so was this other guy named Steve. And Steve
Yes.
ended up killing Bailey.
Steve was so hot.
Hot.
He was. I'm
Like
sorry.
damn good coffee and hot.
Yeah. But he ends up killing Steve
Yeah,
when Steve's about to turn.
right.
Mm.
Yeah.
I looked him up and he hasn't
Right.
been in hardly anything. He's a nobody, really.
Right.
Little bit parts and everything, and I'm like, oh man, he should really be in more stuff.
Well, maybe we should throw him on Lucifer, and then you could just go, wet T-shirt
No,
contest. Oh,
I don't care what he's been in, to be honest.
okay.
Just put him in something.
Yep. Or out of something, is the case
So
may
no, I don't care.
be. Okay. So anyway, Benedetto. Now later in the episode, he tells Clive this story about an informant, and this probably kind of ties in with your bonus. When will Baba know?
Mm-hmm. He's just frustrating me.
Yeah, and then understandably, because he seems to be the only one that doesn't know that there are zombies.
Right.
But I think that's coming to an end, though,
I hope so.
because now Benedetto tells a story where he's like, this informant told him, "I work for zombies, man, flesh-eating zombies," and Benedetto says, like zombies, I have officially heard it all, and shakes his head. But
Mm-hmm.
Clive is like,
Hmm. Yeah.
and that gives me hope that
That he's
maybe
putting some pieces together.
maybe at probably the season finale, because that's next week, the
Right.
2-hour season finale. So we'll probably maybe then he'll find out, and that'll be the cliffhanger or something, that he pieces everything together.
I hope so because it's so frustrating. He should be smarter than this.
He should be, especially being a detective.
Right. And working so closely with Liv.
But so yeah,
Right.
somehow I think he's going to find out that Liv is a zombie, and that's going to be the cliffhanger for the season 3.
Yeah.
Because then, how does their relationship change once he
Right.
knows that she's a zombie?
I have a feeling he might find out through Major though.
Right.
Because of what happens at the end of the episode.
Right.
But we should talk about Ravi and Major.
Yeah, let's talk about Ravi first.
Ravi, of course, last episode found out that Major was the killer.
Right.
What are we calling it? The what killer?
Chaos killer.
Chaos killer.
Yeah.
But
Which I don't know how chaos factors
yeah, I don't know. It's whatever the papers were saying. And once he wakes up from being put under, and Ravi put him under, and oddly enough, he got put under because he was turning into a zombie.
Right.
And I thought Ravi put him under because he was the chaos killer, but no, it was because he was turning into a zombie. That's what Ravi said.
Right.
Because I thought he didn't notice that.
Well, apparently he did. I kind of thought the same thing. So,
okay,
because the way they shot it, it seemed the other way.
Right.
Yeah.
It seemed like he turned after he started to shoot him in the neck with the stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Because he's facing us.
Right.
He was facing us, and then his hair kind of turns a little white, a little bit at the top. He gets that little, touch of gray.
Right.
You need to get some, like, the
Brill cream.
the brill.
Not brill cream.
No, but the dye. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Just for men.
Just for men. That's it.
Yeah, a little just for men.
Yeah. When he wakes up, he tells Ravi, "Well, to be fair,
right.
I'm more the chaos. What chaos?
I'm not sure what he said.
Sleeper, not the killer.
No,
chaos
fridge. No, he's like
refrigerator. The chaos.
Something like that. Freezer. I don't know.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
He amends the killer part to
Yeah.
be
Yeah. You get
that
the
he
point.
puts him
You
to
get the
sleep.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he and Ravi have it out, and
Right.
Ravi and he decide not to tell Liv, and Ravi gets it that Major's trying to save Liv by
Yeah.
doing what he does, and that he's really not killing anyone. So, or not killing
And he's
people
trying to
past the
distance
first
himself
view.
from Liv in the
Right.
process. Yeah. So he doesn't. So she doesn't get caught up in his drama.
Right.
Right. But of course, she will get caught up in his drama
Of course she will.
because she's really technically already caught up in it. He's just
Yep.
not really aware of how much she's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, and apparently we completely dropped the whole thread of Gilda getting kidnapped, right? Because they made no mention of the scarf.
Right.
That's just been completely
I
forgotten.
know. She just picked it up and walked away with it.
Yeah, like, huh? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but Gilda's back with her dad.
Yeah,
in
well,
this
in
episode.
a cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in a
So she
cage,
was
and now
kidnapped
she's fully
by
turned into a zombie.
right.
Well, she
So
looks
she was
great,
kidnapped
by the
by her
way.
dad. Oh, I know. I
She
like the
looks,
hair.
yeah, she looks great as a zombie.
Yeah.
And apparently, it's given a lot of condition to her hair.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fuller.
So how come it dries out Liv's hair?
Good question.
I would have liked Liv to have better hair.
Oh well.
But yeah, I know.
Oh well. Can't have everything, I guess.
Yeah, so
So,
Ravi
so
and now Ravi and Major have a secret from Liv.
right. Which of course will not affect Ravi and Liv's relationship at all once it comes out.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Sarcasm.
And it will come out right away because of course what happens at the end of the episode is gonna be
Yeah.
out.
Because Major ends up he goes to Vondu Clark to use Ravi's antidote as a basically make a human lab rat out of him. Because hey, if we're gonna take out a guy and maybe kill him, who better than Vondu Clark, right?
Right.
So he goes there. But of course, he doesn't get the opportunity to do so. So he's got like a needle in his bag, and then all of a sudden, as he like goes outside, goes to leave, then the cops show up, Basio, and the cops show up, arrest him. So I'm sure they're gonna be wondering what he's got in that syringe of his.
Yep, they sure are.
So a little awkward there, but
Yep.
that was kind of like our cliffhanger for the episode,
Yeah, that woman that comes to the precinct.
right?
Misery.
You're shaking your head.
Little misery.
Yeah.
He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodie car.
Nice.
That's what she does.
Yeah, nice.
I wasn't fond of her. I know this dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
basically, yeah, it's all out in the open about that Minor. We knew Minor that wasn't going to be forgotten about because it's so
Nope.
important. It pretty much leads Basio to Major.
Yep.
Yep. Now we did get some other things we got was Donnie and Chief are taking over for Blaine
Right.
in the mortuary business.
Right.
And they're just hanging out in the basement. There's this great scene where Blaine comes down the stairs to see what's going on.
And Donnie's
And
like,
Donnie's on the banjo, and Chief has got a washboard thing over his, like a vest on,
mhm,
a scratch. He's scratching away on the washboard,
mhm.
and then Donnie's there playing banjo, and it's this great scene. This look on Blaine's face as he watches these two.
He came down to ask them some questions to
Right.
fill in some holes in his memory,
And
and they're like,
it's just the last thing you expect when you walk down there to see.
yeah, don't worry your pretty little head, Blaine.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, Donnie is becoming an alpha now.
yeah.
He's
Well, I mean, now he's a zombie, so he figures, well, I'm in charge now because Blaine is out of the picture. We'll just keep him around to let him help. So
he's gonna be a drone now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Donnie's stepped up. Now, of course, Blaine's gonna get his memory back.
One would think, yeah.
Probably next week. So Donnie is gonna be his days are numbered soon.
Now, do you think he's faking it, or do you think he's really lost his memory? Because that's part of the story is whether
I think
faking
he
it or not.
really lost it, but I think
he did
I think
too.
he's going to recover, and
I
then
think
I
so.
think he's going to pretend
That he still lost
that he
it
still lost his memory. So I think he's going to be a point he comes back, but he's not going to let on that he's
because he's Blaine,
because he's Blaine, and then he's going to
and that's such a Blaine move.
and he's going to like totally screw everybody over as a result.
Starting with Donnie.
And Chief, yeah.
Well, Chief not so much, but Donnie, yes.
Well done, yes, because this
Chief is
Chief is the henchman.
Chief is Lenny.
Yeah. Oh,
From Of Mice and Men. He's definitely Lenny.
I thought you were talking Lenny and Squeaky, but
Oh, well, that too, but
yeah. Okay. Old school reference. Don't ignore us.
both of them are pretty old school.
Yeah, that's true. They are. So is that about it? I think we got everything. Okay. So what's your rating for this episode?
You ruined it completely by talking about them going downstairs.
Oh, well,
Both of our ratings were awesome.
well, I destroyed my rating too. So
I know.
okay,
I put 8 literal washboard abs.
which is good. I don't think that spoiled it. I thought.
Okay, good.
See, now I think I set it up so it explains
Okay.
why you did that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then yours was?
I really liked yours. 8.5 banjos in the basement.
Very nice.
Because that was just such a great scene.
And that's why I chose washboards.
Yeah, it was great.
But I had to say washboard abs because,
Right.
that's where he had them.
Okay.
Arrow.
Moving on.
11:59,
written by Mark Guggenheim and Kito Shimizu.
Showrunner, and then has this person ever directed another one?
Rob Hardy. Rob Hardy's the director.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kito Shimizu is the co-writer.
Is the co-writer.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So this was kind of a big episode.
Kind of.
But in the way, except for the way it was handled. But
yeah.
So what's our A, B, and
Were you expecting it to be this episode?
No, I thought it would be a little farther down the road. Like,
yeah, me too.
Maybe like the penultimate, but yeah.
Yeah.
I thought we were still waiting a little bit, but apparently not.
I thought so too.
So we finally find out who's going to be in the mystery grave in this episode. Turns out, guess what? It's Laurel.
Whoops.
Black Canary.
Came out of nowhere.
Yep.
So was this even on our radar?
So your guess was wrong. My guess was wrong.
Was she on your radar at all?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Mine either.
No. I was thinking Captain Lance with the way it was going.
Yeah.
And you were convinced
Donna.
Yeah. So we were both wrong.
She was just not on my radar at all.
Well, yeah, because I mean, they just killed Sarah and then brought her back from the dead.
Right.
So why would they kill now? Though
the rumor is that she's not really dead.
Yeah, well, I think it's more than a rumor because I paid attention in that episode and I could tell you exactly why she's not dead. But we'll get into that.
Okay.
So what's her A, B, and C, Karen?
A is Another Love Bites the Dust.
Bum, bum, bum,
because he cannot have a girlfriend without them dying, apparently. Nope. Dig was not his brother's keeper. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dig was not his brother's keeper.
Yep.
And the bad guy was out for blood.
Yep.
So
nice. He's not a bad guy. He's my brother.
yeah, right. Talk about Cain and Abel, right?
Yep. Well, you know it's going to come down to like a big fight between those two.
How is Dig feeling right now?
Well, he is hopefully pretty crap. Now, the hilarious thing, I know we're jumping ahead to but the most hilarious thing about that Diggle's total fail to recognize that his brother was an evil guy working for Damien Dark, is that for once in this show, I think this is the first time ever, Oliver was right about something.
I know, right?
I mean,
this isn't the first time.
Has he been right about anything? Because
sure. Whenever Diggle's wrong, he's right.
Okay.
Because Diggle was wrong about John Crichton.
Okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
And Oliver was right about him.
The Farscape, I know. Yeah. Ben Browder,
Ben Browder, when he was back and he tried to recruit him.
That's true, he was. I forgot about that. You're right.
So whenever Diggle's wrong about something,
but typically Oliver's wrong.
Oliver's wrong, right?
Like
now, how many times does this make it
the Diggle exception?
Right, it's the Diggle exception. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
How many times does it make it a Diggle has had faith in someone and the rug's been pulled out? Is it twice or is it more than that?
Well, he's had on and off faith in Oliver that he's lost. So does that count?
No, it would have to be someone that's turned completely bad.
Yeah, because he was pretty bitter against Oliver there for a good while last season, right?
Yeah, but I mean someone that like he said through the whole episode, no, they're good, they're good, they're good, and then all of a sudden, right at the end of the episode,
Yeah, I don't think so.
wah, wah,
Yeah,
they're bad. So just the twice then.
yeah.
His army
That
dude and
that I can
and the,
recall. I mean, I'm sure maybe our listeners could point out some other instances, but
yeah. He really needs to become a better judge of character, I
yeah,
think.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess Lila, he did a good job at being
Sure.
a good judge of, but
Let's hope.
yeah, let's hope. Yeah, let's hope she doesn't turn out to be evil.
Right. She could be playing the long con.
Yeah, like I got knocked up and now I'm going to sacrifice our baby to Damien Dark because of some mystic uber power.
You know, she forgives things really easily,
The, yep, it's all.
doesn't she?
Yep. No, she's not. She's not. You're just yanking. You're yanking our chain, Karen. Look at you.
I am. I'm
You
totally
you're,
yanking
you're
it.
trying to start something.
Well, she is the new Amanda Waller, and Amanda
Right.
Waller walked that
Right.
line
Because of
between
we had
good
to
and
kill
bad.
Amanda Waller because of Suicide Squad movie. So
I guess.
yeah,
It's so stupid.
it is. All right. So so getting back to the
Another
A
Love
story.
Bites Dust,
Yeah,
which is
let's
a story. Yeah.
yeah. So the
I mean,
team.
we can just talk about the episode.
Yeah,
Really.
really.
It's all one
It's all
story.
kind of smushed together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had excuse me. We had Andy telling his brother he was approached by Malcolm Merlin about breaking Damien Dark out of prison.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, great. Thank you, Andy, for telling us this.
Alarms.
This is good.
Whoop,
Yeah.
whoop,
This could have
whoop.
yeah.
Trap.
It's a
It's a
trap.
trap.
It's a trap.
Oh, R.I.P. to that guy, by the
Yeah,
way.
Admiral Akbar, the guy who played Admiral Akbar, died.
Yeah.
But he was in Force Awakens, so that's kind of cool. We got to see him again
Yeah, that's true.
before he died. So at least did the
I'm very
voice.
sad.
Yeah. Um, so Oliver and Diggle end up foiling the Hive's plan, but it turns out to be a ruse designed to let Malcolm and the League followers invade this bunker, because, of course, the security in the Arrow Cave sucks, like so bad, and
So many people just wander in.
and they pointed out how bad it sucks. So you think you would do something to reinforce that,
Right.
but
How many people have said how bad it is?
I mean,
And then they just let it go.
yeah, like okay, well, I guess everybody's gonna waltz in, no problem.
Like
So
it's a free clinic.
they waltz in and they steal this idol for Damien Dark. So because apparently it gives Damien Dark his power, so he
Mm-hmm.
can be all telekinetic guy.
Right.
Right. So Malcolm delivers the idol to Dark, but it won't work because apparently it turns out it's incomplete.
Mm-hmm.
And then Diggle reveals to Andy, because hey, we can trust Andy, right? That he personally hid this missing piece in another location.
Right.
And Oliver's like, dude, why did you tell him that?
Right. Smart.
He's my brother. Well, I don't trust him. He's shady. And then, of course, Oliver later finds Andy rummaging through couch cushions looking for that missing piece because apparently it fell in the couch somewhere.
Sure.
Why not?
Yeah.
But okay,
It's
so
with the remote.
he confronts him and Andy gives him like really bullcrap story about like like, oh, I was just moving these cushions around. I wanted to,
Right.
yeah, some lame excuse. I can't remember
The
what he said.
baby was under the cushion.
Yeah, something like that. It was I don't know. Oh, I've left the remote control under here. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, something like that. But it was pretty weak.
Yeah.
So
My flashlight was
but
down
of
here.
course, they start to get into it and then Diggle shows up
Right.
and, I got to side with my bro. Sorry, Oliver.
Right. Because he
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the dumbest.
Yeah. Oh, even though, remember that speech I made about that you're my brother, Oliver? Well, guess what? I'm siding with my actual brother.
Right. Bros before bros.
Bros before bros. Nice. Exactly.
Right?
Well played. I'm just going to mark one up for Karen.
Put one up there? Okay, thank you.
Karen gets one up there. That was a good one. I like that. Bros before bros. Okay. Very nice.
Which one of these?
Yeah, I know. All right. So we had that.
Maybe Diggle's helmet is blocking brainwaves. It's squishing his brain. It's so tiny.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he needs to get a bigger Magneto helmet.
Maybe he does. It's just terrible.
I don't know. So Damien Dark ends up orchestrating this prison riot with the help from Murmurer returning.
Hmm.
So we get the return of Murmurer, who's just all creepy because his mouth's all sewn up shut. And
He was in last week's episode too, right?
he was.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like his underling now,
Right.
at least in prison.
Right, because Damien.
Right, he needs a henchman in prison, so I guess Murmurer's fulfilling that role.
Right.
And hey, great, he doesn't talk, so
Sure.
that's a plus for a henchman, right? No talk back, right?
Exactly.
So Damien's got to love that. So the team sets out to stop him, with Andy, of course, joining them.
Of course.
Because
he leaps to help them.
Yep, I'm good.
I'll be right there beside you to fight Damien Dark.
Right.
Wink, wink.
So the team gets a hold of Dark. Andy, of course, shocker of all shockers, turns on them. Dun dun dun.
Audible gasp.
Yeah, where's our Sting music there?
I'm hitting it. My tablet is so slow today.
That's okay.
Apologies.
That's all right. It's all that porn you're surfing.
Yeah, that's it.
It's
my lady porn.
Of that guy Steve from iZombie.
I only read and use the soundboard on this thing, but apparently my reading is steamy that it takes up everything.
Brown chicka brown.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet.
I'm reading the Crossfire series right now.
My wife's reading the Black Dagger Brotherhood.
Christmas.
Oh, well, the Crossfire series is by Sylvia Day, and it is like super steamy.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. It's like this big time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so anyway, Andy, how could you turn on us? Because you're such a great guy.
I was with him all along.
Dun dun dun. And you never saw it coming. Ha ha ha.
Right.
So yeah, he gives Damien Dark the missing piece to the idol. Damien gets his telekinesis back.
Right. Which is so dumb.
Which he uses, and Damien stabs Laurel as revenge, just as Captain Lance, he's getting revenge on Captain Lance, basically, by saying,
right.
"Oh, remember I told you I'd do something about your daughter." Well, shunk.
Right.
Yeah.
For testifying against him.
Right. So Damien Dark escapes with Andy and probably Murmur and some other inmates, and Malcolm Merlin.
But in the meantime, he also sucks up some guy's blood.
Right. Yeah.
In order to get some power back.
Yeah.
Because the idol doesn't give him life back. It only gives him powers back.
Right.
The blood gives him life back.
Okay.
Which I think might be important later.
I'm sure it is.
Okay.
I'm sure it is.
Because again, I have that theory that blood is important to him.
Right. Well, it's just probably one of the things that makes the idol work, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, so anyway, so they get Laurel to the hospital. Okay. Now here's where you need to pay attention if you watch the episode.
Okay.
If you didn't get it. If you're one of those people that's really upset, oh my God, they killed Black Canary, you bastards.
Which I'm not.
Which
but
I'm
whatever.
not. But anyway. Well, listen to this and maybe you'll be reassured if you didn't quite pay attention to this. Okay.
Okay.
So, first thing we get from the doctors, like they ask the doctors, well, how is she? And the doctors tell Oliver that she's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
She got through it okay. Like she had surgery. She got through it okay. No problems. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the worry is gone. So there's a moment there where Laurel and Oliver are alone in her room.
Mm-hmm.
And Laurel says, Oliver, I need your help with something first.
And they decide.
So they kind of whisper to each other. We pull back, and then they cut away. And then the next thing you know, before you know it, oh, guess what? Laurel's crashing. Oh no! The alarms go off.
So they're faking her death.
So yes, they're faking her death. Totally. Right. This woman who was said by the doctors she's perfectly fine now is all of a sudden crashing and then ends up dead.
Now,
no.
Mind you, that can totally happen.
Yeah, but
you can get an embolism.
Well, I understand that, but not after that scene where we see Oliver and her talking. Like, first I need something
Right. I
because
get that.
Oliver knows, of course, all these funky little like Vulcan nerve pinches
I
to
know.
to make people like, oh yeah, I thought simulate death and all that.
Right. I
So
know.
I need a fake embolism without giving me an embolism. Okay,
Right.
here you go, snap on your neck or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
And
I'm sure that's what happened.
yeah.
So she
Not that
no,
I mind. I
so
mean,
the reason but of course the reason for this is they're faking her death, so now she can operate independently to take down Damien Dark. Damien does think she's dead, right?
right.
So now she's out there alone. She's not being supervised.
She can sneak up from behind and
So she's basically their ace in the hole now
right.
to take down Damien Dark, which okay, granted that was pretty clever.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of was like, well, guess what, fans? We teased you with this death long enough, or all season, and oh, guess what? She's not really dead after all. Psych,
Right.
psych. Aren't we clever writers
Mm-hmm.
for Arrow?
Right.
Yeah. But of course, everybody who didn't pay attention is outraged. How dare they kill Black Canary? Green Arrow and Black Canary are supposed to be together. I'm upset. I'm never watching the show again, except for
Right.
when I come back next week and watch the show.
No one is ever dead on this show.
Yeah. So if you're upset, I'm kind of curious to hear what Justina has to say about it later in our episode. But
I didn't listen to it, by the way. I
okay,
edited it,
okay,
but I didn't go through the whole thing.
okay. So I think that's pretty much it. We don't care about the flashbacks.
No.
No. So did I miss anything?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Okay. So rating.
8 really quiet librarians. That's Murmur, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah. Very nice. I liked his little book cart. He's like
Yeah.
squeaky, 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 wheeling it through the prison. And you're like,
Exactly.
and I'm like, oh sure, let the like homicidal serial killer run the book cart.
Exactly.
Nothing bad will happen to this.
No.
No.
Let him loose.
So yeah, I was waiting for that. So like as soon as I saw him pushing that book cart, I'm like, okay, we're gonna get a riot.
Mhm.
I predict a riot. I predict a riot. Anyway,
Okay, what's your rating?
8 out of 10 ugly power battery idols.
Yeah, it's
Because
hideous.
it was hideous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but basically, yeah, it's like his Green Lantern power battery for
Mhm.
Damien Dark, and you can get his superpowers by
Mhm.
touching it or
And
whatever.
then he needs blood for the other part of it. It's gross.
Yep. All right, moving on. Legends of Tomorrow, episode 10 of the first season, Progeny.
That's right.
Written by Phil Klemmer and Mark Guggenheim. Again, Guggenheim.
Showrunners.
Yep. Showrunners assemble.
Wrong comic company.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Directed by David Geddes.
Okay.
So, okay.
He's directed quite a few.
Yep. So, so what's our A, B, and C, Karen?
Okay. The quicker effer upper.
Nice.
Beating.
That was good.
You like that one?
I like that. That's probably my favorite of this episode.
Okay, good. Beating up the lesser of two evils.
Right.
Futurama did it.
Simpsons did it.
Right.
I see what you did there.
Thank you. And then bonus is Flashback to the Future.
Right. Okay. Flash back to the future. Okay. So
Futurama did it.
so the quicker F for upper.
Yeah.
Which I love.
He is not the best at fixing the future, is he?
Now this would be Rip Hunter you're talking about.
Correct.
Yes. So yeah. So Rip has this plan. They go to 2147 to this place called the Casnia Conglomerate. And Rip explains that in the future, corporations take over because obviously.
Right.
Because
we're headed that way.
We're headed that way anyway. So yeah, if you're paying attention, yes, corporations take over. Surprise. So they're looking for
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's huge.
Huge. So we Rick discovers that Savage is grooming a young kid per Degaton, or as Rip pronounces it because he's British, per Degaton.
Per Degaton.
Yes. Because
straight from the comics, by the way.
Yeah. Per Degaton is an old school Justice Society bad guy from the 40s.
And it's per
Degaton.
Space.
Yes, Degaton.
Degaton.
Yeah. First name Per, last name Degaton. Not just one word like the way Rip was pronouncing it. So, Arthur Darvill, really.
Right.
Right. So
Predigaton. It's all one word.
Predegaton. And even
Yeah.
even like it's funny because he says Degaton, and then all of a sudden you had like there's this one scene where like Sarah says Degaton right
Right.
after that because she's like, I'm not pronouncing it that way. I'm American,
Right.
damn it. We don't
Not just that, but I know it's 2 words just from you saying it.
exactly. So anyway, now we don't get the adult version that we're used to because he's like a basically a time traveling, like he's one of these like dictators that ends up. Sometimes he involves like time travel and like you get the Justice Society or teaming up with like whomever, the All Star Squadron or Justice League to take down Degaton.
He was a big Booster Gold enemy, wasn't he?
Not real. I mean,
No?
not so much.
Okay.
But yeah,
I thought he went up against
yeah. But
Booster.
basically, he's like a time traveling dictator, if that helps.
Right.
Okay.
Dictator.
Yeah, yeah. So, there's a great crossover between the Justice League, Justice Society, and the All Star Squadron.
Okay.
In like this All Star Squadron Justice League of America crossover in the '80s. It's that's probably the best Per Degaton story I've read.
Okay. And he had a whole red suit.
A black suit with like red boots and a red D on it because hey, it's Degaton, so I can have a D on my chest.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, so
He looked pretty cool.
This
I just
kid,
remember.
we find out this kid version.
Little Lord Fauntleroy.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Or Little Lord Damien, the Antichrist.
Or what was his name from Game of Thrones? He looked kind of like Joffrey too.
Yeah, I was getting a Joffrey vibe from him.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, very Joffrey-ish. So anyway, this kid grows up, of course, become this evil dictator guy, who unleashes this Armageddon virus. And in 2152, so only like 5 years later, he's like 14 here. So when he's 19, he unleashes this big mega virus.
Mm-hmm.
And that ended up killing most of the population. Now, of course, once the world is weakened, Vandal Savage just kind of waltzes in, betrays Degaton, and then conquers the world.
Right. He can just sweep right in.
Yep. Now that you've softened him up, I'll just kill you and take over.
Right.
Sucker.
Yep. That's the one thing about Vandal Savage is he knows how to pick his battles, and his battle is, hey, I can just pick up where you left off, and there we go.
Right. So here, so because of this, we go back to the old time travel question, this moral dilemma of, well, if you had the ability to go back in time, would you kill Hitler? So
that's essentially what this episode is.
So it's here. It's like, well, we've got to, like we go through time to the future. Would you kill this dictator who's going to be all evil and kill a whole bunch of people when he's a kid?
Mm-hmm.
That's the moral dilemma.
Out of curiosity, what would you do?
Well, I've watched enough Doctor Who to know that if you kill the kid, the timeline gets affected.
Right.
And Hitler, if you went back in time to kill Hitler, time is going to get all screwed up. So many lives are affected by Hitler. The timeline would be completely
so many
different.
Scientific breakthroughs would be gone.
The atomic bomb. Now, granted, that would be great, but you never know. It could be something worse gets developed. You don't know what could happen as a result.
Well, we wouldn't have gone to space as quickly as we have.
Right.
So
the Cold War would have never happened, so therefore we wouldn't have gone to space to kind of combat against the Russians, etc.
Well, and so many of the guys that designed the spaceship came out of Hitler's Germany and
because
cars, planes, all that stuff came out of Volkswagen and Boeing and all that stuff.
So bottom line, you have this huge domino effect, butterfly effect, really. Right. And so you do that, then time is going to be completely different. So no, I wouldn't do that. Just leave it alone because I know it's happening.
Right.
As sad and horrible as it is, you got to leave that crap alone, man.
Right.
Like watch some Doctor Who, watch some like other time travel stuff. Back to the Future, if anything, you get that you get that sports almanac. It's not going to end up good.
Right. It happened, and things happened from it.
Yep. So, don't do it. Don't do it.
Right.
So So that's
we are where we are because of that.
Yeah.
And there's some definite upsides.
Right. And that's kind of why Rip, I think, is failing, because for a time master, he's so focused on saving his son and wife that it's affecting his common sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that's eventually going to come to a head.
Right.
I'm hoping it does because,
I hope it does too.
yeah, because I think there's going to be a big showdown, and Rip is going to have the opportunity to do so, and then maybe through whatever he's learned by screwing up the timeline, that maybe I shouldn't do this.
Is he going to reset it, do you think?
I don't know. We'll find out. I think that,
Well, this is an anthology
yeah.
series. So next season is not going to be about Rip Hunter.
Well, it may be because I recently read that the showrunners are talking that, okay, even though we did kind of say an anthology, we're not necessarily getting rid of the cast.
Okay.
So,
Just a different story.
so maybe instead of a time travel story, we're going to do something else.
Okay.
But we're going to only maybe we'll replace a couple of people, but we're not going to replace the entire cast.
Okay. So they'll cycle through
So,
gradually instead
so
of.
I'm guessing that either we don't see Rip Hunter or we don't see Heat Wave and Captain Cold, maybe.
Okay.
We'll
Or Hawkman and
or Hawkman.
Hawkwoman. Or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Hawkgirl.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. So we'll see. But
All right.
that's what I recently read. So who knows?
Still an
Maybe they were
anthology.
originally thinking an anthology, but maybe they rethought it and hey, we really like these characters together.
Well, they're popular, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So okay, so uh essentially, yeah, Rip has this Rip has this dilemma of okay, where do I kill the kid? And they decide, well, hey, okay, maybe instead of killing him, we'll just remove him from the timeline. But
Take him somewhere else.
right, but apparently that doesn't work.
Nope.
So Rip ends up having to release Per Degaton and begs him hey, don't let Savage influence your actions. Be your own man, whatever. And yeah. That doesn't really.
He can't kill him.
Right.
He can't kill him.
Yeah.
He has the gun trained on him and everything, and he can't kill him.
And Degaton calls him out. He's like, dude, I'm looking in your eyes right now. They're totally not going to kill me. Yeah, exactly.
He's doing the
two fingers to the eyes, to back and forth.
2 fingers to your eyes. Yeah, exactly. He is pretty smug for a kid. You can tell he's been tutored.
Very Joffrey-ish.
By yeah. Well, he's been tutored by not Rip Hunter, by
Vandal Savage.
Vandal Savage. You can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid ends up killing his dad at the end, which is.
Yep.
And he's not supposed to take over so quickly, which is Rip Hunter is.
Yeah, it's a complete fail on Rip Hunter's part.
Complete fail.
So yeah, Degaton returns to Vandal Savage to resume his studies. Savage tells him about this Greek myth of Oedipus.
Yeah.
Which, whoops, involves patricide.
Yeah.
And hands him the knife.
Master love.
Yep.
But no master
love. So yeah,
love
he kills his dad, and then Gideon, they go back to the Wave Rider, and Gideon tells Rip, "Oh, guess what? Yeah, it just accelerated things."
Whoops.
Don't.
If Gideon had feelings, she would say dumbass.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay.
Yeah.
So beating up the lesser of two evils.
And that is the fight between Mick and
Captain Cold.
Yes.
Snart. So yeah, so
they make a deal.
Yeah, so essentially, Mick Rory, the former Heatwave, now Kronos, is sitting in a brig for most of this episode. He's kind of being hey, heroes don't go kill kids, right?
Right. And he's visited by the ghost of Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
Past.
Yeah.
Present and future.
Yeah, but yeah, so Captain Cold finally shows up at the end.
Right.
And he says, "Okay, dude, let's have it out. You've been wanting."
They make the deal first. If you win,
yep, right,
then we let you go.
Right.
And if I win, what was the deal that they made? I can't remember now.
I can't remember.
Then you kill me?
No. It's if Cold wins, then if Cold wins, they'll let him go. And then if Mick wins, he gets to kill Snart.
Okay.
Right?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't that make sense?
I couldn't remember exactly. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. So
I just watched it. Why can I not remember? It's because neither of them happened.
Right. So so what happens is they throw down. There's a point where Heatwave just beats the crap out of Captain Cold.
Yeah,
But
because he's had eons of
right,
practice
exactly, and he's got all this
at the
advanced
vanishing
training.
point.
Yeah, training from by the Time Masters and stuff. So he easily takes out Snart, but he can't quite kill him.
Right.
So
And he ends up giving out some information there.
yeah, so for some reason after that they let him out of the cell.
Yeah, because he tells them something.
Yeah, he tells him, yeah, basically he says, "Oh, guess what? You guys are dead anyways because
Right,
the Time Masters have sent these guys called the Hunters after you,
right,
which are like time traveling assassins."
right.
Uh,
And that's why I said the lesser of two evils,
gotcha.
because Kronos
Right.
is nothing compared to these other guys.
Yep. And we'll find out what happens with the Hunters next week when they go back to the Old West and Jonah Hex is there.
I cannot wait.
Yeah. So
This guy looks
yeah,
amazing.
it looks like they did a really good job with the Jonah Hex makeup, which
Yeah,
good. All right.
thumbs up.
So
Futurama did it.
Futurama did it.
The Luck of the Fryish is the name of the episode,
Right.
where his brother went to Mars, but he thinks it's no, it's his nephew went to Mars,
Hmm.
but the name on the thing is Philip J. Fry, so he thinks it's his brother
Right.
masquerading as him
Yeah.
with his 6-leaf clover or
Okay.
whatever.
Got it. So
Do you remember that one?
yes, vaguely. Yeah. Yeah. So I think what you're referring to then now is Ray Palmer, who he goes like basically he sees that his suit technology has been corrupted, made into these like police robots
Right.
and
Autonomous
autonomous.
robot.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and his
That's what he's afraid of.
it turns out apparently it's his descendant. Apparently, that turns out to be Jewel State from Firefly.
Right. Which is
Kaylee from
awesome.
Firefly is descendant,
Mhm.
Rachel Turner.
She's always in the future.
But it turns out, oh, guess what? Rachel's actually descended from Ray's twin brother.
Right. Who stole his
Stole his
technology
technology, apparently, took his company over,
and just sold
and
it.
became evil.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah, but I thought it was funny because it was simply
yeah,
instead of going to Mars, it was stealing the technology
yeah,
and
yeah.
selling
Because
it. So,
eventually you think because there's like a bust there of Ray. Only it turns out, well, guess what? It's not Ray. It's his Ray's twin brother.
right. Duh. And there's this whole crisis of conscience where he
Yeah.
thinks that the girl he was dating was pregnant
Right.
and blew him off, and
Yeah.
he's upset that he was a father and he never got to be a father. So that I thought that was sad.
Yep. Okay, we got 15 minutes to get this under 2 hours.
Okay,
So
Flashback to the Future was Kira seeing all those flashbacks and then deciding that Ray was her future.
got it. Okay,
Okay.
so rating.
9 awesome high-tech glasses.
I give this one 8.5 bust statues of Ray Palmer's twin brother.
Very nice.
Okay, last show, Daredevil, Kinbaku,
Yeah, 205.
205,
Kinbaku.
written by Lauren Schmidt-Histrich, directed by Floria Sigimanzi.
Alrighty.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
What you said.
Yeah, so what's our A, B, and C, Karen?
Past tense.
All right,
Tense.
right.
Rocks on, rocks off.
Very nice. I like that one too.
And bulletin points.
Okay. So I'm guessing past tense refers to the flashback where we go 10 years ago. Matt,
There was more than one though, right? Flashback.
yes.
Okay.
But essentially,
It
yeah,
was
'cause
throughout.
we started 10 years ago because we essentially get the background of Matt Murdock and Elektra Nachios's relationship.
Right.
And so, yeah, Matt meets Elektra at a ballroom party. The two bond over their shared observational skills and thrill seeking before heading off in the night in a stolen car.
That's
Because
right.
Elektra is a bad girl.
She certainly is.
And it's that kind of relationship.
Ninja assassin.
So, yeah. And,
Yeah, and they end up doing a lot of things in the past together.
Now, a lot of that is kind of there's a mini series by Frank Miller and John Romita Jr., Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, which explores, it's essentially Daredevil year one.
Right.
But we get the background history of Daredevil and Elektra. And the whole business, like with the stolen car, that's right out of there because Elektra is just like this devil may care, to use pardon pun.
Literally.
Yeah. Freewheeling, party girl, almost bet, like she doesn't care.
Right.
Kind of amoral.
Right.
Yeah. So
And they show in the past where they end up sparring and
Yeah, they go to the boxing ring, Fogwell's gym, where Matt's dead father. Yeah, I
used
see.
to
And I
practice.
hear the
Yeah.
porn music because, yeah, they start discussing details about his father's death, but then end up having sex on the boxing in the middle of the boxing ring.
That's right. There's a thin line between sparring and sexing,
Love and fight.
I
The
guess,
thin line
because they
between
didn't hate.
love and fight. All right,
And that was a really sexy scene.
it
And
was. It was hot.
I like that you kind of saw it from his perspective.
Right.
Things kind of slowed down and got all like dreamy looking.
And
It's very cool.
we went like the whole psychological issues of going to the place that was so important to his dead father and then having sex there,
Right. Yeah.
which I'm thinking is more Elektra's idea because it kind of is dominating him a little bit.
Oh, yes. She's the
She's
alpha.
doing mind games with him big
She
time.
was the alpha in
Yeah,
their
yeah.
relationship. Yeah. And of course, that mirrored the fact that he and Karen are progressing, and he is definitely the alpha in that
Right, right.
relationship.
And then we get this another flashback later where Matt and Elektra break into the home of Roscoe Sweeney, the guy that was responsible for ordering the death of Matt's father, the
Mm-hmm.
fixer.
Mm-hmm.
Now they end up like duct taping Sweeney to a chair or something, and Murdoch.
Ropes.
Yeah, and Matt.
It was almost noose
Or
around
was it
his neck.
ropes? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So Matt, that's been a while since I watched this episode.
No, it's okay.
So Matt beats him unconscious. Elektra urges Matt to kill him, Sweeney, but Murdoch, of course, can't because he's not amoral like Elektra.
And it's the knife that she used to cut cheese on his abs
Right,
and feed him cheese.
right. Now this is, of course, after they broke into the place. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like Matt thought it was Elektra's place that they broke into. Well, guess
Right.
what? It wasn't. It was Sweeney's place.
Or pal or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Sweeney's place.
yep.
She had him all trussed up for
Yeah,
him, and
how like interesting was that scene where she's cutting cheese on his abs?
I know. Yeah, it was definitely a very power move.
And that's what Elektra is.
Mm-hmm.
She's playing the mind games.
Stabbing the cheese straight
Yep.
down on his ab
Like,
and then feeding it to him.
yep. But
It was
and they show this in the comics. That's kind of why Daredevil and Elektra are a great pair because they have that love of danger
mm-hmm.
together, and that's kind of their bond.
Yeah, and that was danger for both of them.
Right. So
she could easily hurt him, but he knew what she was doing. So
yeah. So Daredevil is a danger junkie. Go figure.
mm-hmm.
A name like Daredevil.
Right.
So yeah. And Elektra feeds off that.
Yep.
So
yeah, and he can't go through with it, but he calls 911 to report where the felon is,
right.
and she slits his neck, right?
Yeah, she kills him right in front of him.
And then
that's the last that he sees of her until the present day.
Right.
Yeah. So in the present day, when I'm guessing this is Rocks On, Rocks Off.
Yes.
Where
I like that.
That is great. I like that one too. So Elektra requests Matt's help for dealings with her father's company, Roxxon Energy Corporation, which Murdoch's like, no.
Yeah, I'm staying out of this one.
But of course he ends up, because it's Elektra, he can't help but know
You
what's going on.
keep dragging me back in.
Yeah, exactly. So he sneaks, like he gets all Daredevil-y and like sneaks up on the rooftop to listen in.
Mm-hmm. And he tells her that there are people coming and then it's the Yakuza.
Yep.
And he says, but I took care of them. And she says, oh, it's all right. I stirred them back up.
Yeah.
Which he is not happy about.
Nope. And of course, that comes into play later because Matt goes to Elektra's penthouse where the Yakuza ends up like converging on the building. And that's kind of like our cliffhanger because Elektra's like taken Matt's Daredevil suit.
Which is why she was in the apartment, really.
Right, exactly. And so she's like, okay, you ready to fight now?
Mm-hmm. Do I got to push you into it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the big cliffhanger.
Right.
And then, of course, Bulletin Points is Karen going to the Bulletin with the information she has about Frank Castle.
Right.
And trying to get them to tell the whole story about him. And she gives them information from breaking into his house.
Right.
And a lot of people are saying she's a bad investigator, but I think she's actually a pretty good investigator.
Yep.
She got that information.
She seems to have a flair for like I mean, and that's kind of why she's probably a good legal assistant because she's great at research.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Right. And then, of course, they're progressing in their relationship, Matt and Karen,
right.
which worries me because
Yeah.
Electra's back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and he is completely taking things slow with her.
They go on their first date. They go a really awkward first date at a fancy restaurant. And then
Mhm.
Electra calls because Electra, of course, is going to screw everything up.
Of course.
Says that she can see him. So Matt's just like, okay, we're going to get out of here.
Right.
So they end up going to like some ethnic joint.
Which is a much better
Yeah,
for
but
them.
it's much more relaxed. So they're able to enjoy that date. That one goes a lot better.
And talk back.
Matt walks her home, and then they kiss because Matt says, "I'm going to kiss you,"
Mhm.
and he
So
does.
sweet.
And then Karen invites him upstairs. Hey now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but he doesn't go.
he declines. He's like, "Look, I have a habit of screwing things up. I don't want to screw up this perfect night.
This is perfect. Let's keep it
We'll keep it
perfect.
perfect. I don't want to screw it up. I'll talk to you
Yeah.
later."
Which is sweet, but it's also,
Yeah.
to me, it looks like, oh boy,
Well,
good things are not coming of this.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm gonna watch it as soon as we stop
Okay.
here.
All right. Now we did forget one thing. There's a great scene where Foggy gets joined by Marcy at the bar.
Right.
And Marcy's mad, of course, that she hasn't heard from Foggy. Foggy reveals he's bothered by Matt and Karen dating.
Right. Which I kind of
Right.
said last time, didn't I?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right.
Breaking the bro
Good
code.
call. And they're losing clients because of DA Reyes.
Mhm.
Marcy realizes, well, Foggy just looking for her for help.
Right.
So she tells Foggy that Reyes has her sights on the mayor's office, and she
Mm,
was using the castle case as her pedestal to getting that
I see.
position. And interestingly, she also reveals that Jessica Jones is already being targeted. And
Right.
next up is guess who? Daredevil. So I
Right.
thought that was interesting.
And then her little Ray's his little sidekick
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
have a chat as well.
Assistant DA Tower.
Right. And it kind of ends up being a stalemate
Right.
between them.
Right.
He says, "Look, Reyes is just going to step right over you."
Hmm.
So there's going to be an opening there and it's not going to be you filling it.
Right. Pretty much. Okay, so what's your rating for this one?
I gave it 8 gray olives.
Okay.
The olive they put in that drink is not fresh.
I like this episode. I like getting the history between Matt and Electra. And I give this one 9 out of 10 smashed drinking glasses on the floor.
Very nice.
So, all right.
Lots of
Lots
drinking.
of drinking in this episode.
Mhm.
All right. So, do we have a Justina review?
We
All
do.
right. Let's hear it.
Hi, Karen and Charles.
Hi, Justina.
This week was kind of a bummer on superhero TV.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong, the episodes were really good, but there was a lot of themes about death this week. On Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we had an Inhuman that can see death when you touch him, which made him have to leave his family, so that was really sad. And I think may have lost Agent Gardner for good, that he may be trapped as Lash now. That episode gets 8 out of 10 wooden robins. Arrow was completely heartbreaking this week. In the flashbacks, we're learning more and more about the terrible things that Oliver had to do while he was
Flashbacks?
on
Who
that
cares?
island. And seeing the
There are
repercussions
flashbacks?
of the damage done on that island
No.
in present
At
day
least the
Oliver.
idol was in
I
it.
still dislike Merlin, but I do understand why he helps Dark, because he wants to keep Thea safe from whatever it is that's coming. And also, Merlin will always ally with someone that he thinks has a lot of power, because he's obsessed with power. I am so sad to see another Black Canary fall, but I am interested in what kind of impact it will have on the characters. Laurel said she kept that picture because it reminded her of a time when life was simpler. I hope that having that conversation with Laurel will make Oliver reflect back on a time when life was simpler and start to heal from the man that he became on that island. I'm wondering if it will give new perspective to Felicity, that she might think life is too short and she might need to stop fighting with Oliver. And I'm wondering when and how Sarah will find out about her sister. I know she's off, lost in time somewhere, but I feel like there will be a way that she will find out. And she, like Rip Hunter, will be tempted to change the timeline to save her sister.
She's
So
not
I
dead.
hope
She's
that
not dead.
Laurel's death leads to some crossover with Legends of Tomorrow. Arrow gets 10 out of 10 broken idols. Legends of Tomorrow was pretty good, though not my favorite episode. I think it must be so discouraging when they work really hard to complete a mission that they think is going to help the world overall, and all the work that they put into it doesn't actually change the outcome of history. And in this case, even seems to make the thing they were trying to prevent come to pass sooner. That would be super frustrating.
Wah-wah.
Yep.
So Legends get 7 out of 10 dictators in training.
Ooh, that's
Oh,
low.
and the death aspect in this episode, the team had to decide whether or not it was okay to kill a child.
Mm-hmm.
If the child was destined to become a dictator or a pawn for Vandal Savage to take over the world. Have a super week.
You too, Justina.
Thank you, Justina. Well,
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about Laura.
Hopefully we reassured you about Laurel.
Yeah.
Hopefully. She's
Hopefully.
not dead.
She's not dead yet.
She's merely resting.
Yeah, she's keeping on her back.
She's not joined.
She's pining for the field.
She's not joined the bleeding choir invisible.
That's right. The parrot sketch.
Yep. All right. So, Karen, where can they reach you?
They can reach me at Oliveria on the Twitter machine.
Mm-hmm.
But do you want to give them how they can reach us?
I was
in
going
general?
to get there, but okay. So you.
No, how can they reach you?
Okay, well, they can reach me at Charles Skaggs on the Twitter machine and the Instagrams. Google Plus for all you crazy kids on the Google Plus. I'm only one away from 100 followers on Google Plus. So come on, give me one more. I want to get 100. There's actually 100 people on Google Plus. Who knew? Facebook, of course, and my blog of geeky things, Damn Good Coffee and Hot, where I talk about all these shows, including new shows like Cloak and Dagger, which is coming to Freeform.
I know.
So
That's
pretty exciting if you're a Marvel Comics fan.
Mhm.
So even though it's on Freeform, but still could be. It's a young adult show, and that's cool. They need their shows too. So that'd be good. And so of course, Fandom Zone Cast. You can reach us, the Phantom Zone podcast, at Phantom Zone Cast on Twitter and Facebook, of course. We're on iTunes, or
That's right.
you can
Email.
email us at phantomzonecast@gmail.com.
Correct.
So
that's it. Yep.
So,
that's all. That's the only way you can talk to us.
Well,
see, I'm so vehement about it. I hit my mic.
Yeah. Boom. But yeah, please drop us a line, and if you're not following us liking us on Facebook, please give us a like on Facebook. We'd really appreciate it.
Sure.
Help us out.
And I gave you a shout out on.
And please tell your friends about us, because we want to spread the word, because we need your help to do that.
Yeah, I gave you a shout out on Made of Steel last week.
Thank you very much. I need to catch up on Made of Steel. I'm behind.
Oh, we actually put your Twitter handle and everything in our blog post.
That was very awesome. Well, I need to do that in reciprocation.
Nah, you don't have to do that. No worries.
Hey, it's only fair. You help me out, I'll help you out. That's how it works.
You did a really good job of showing us.
Oh, I remember the character. Yeah, Maxima, you were talking about.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
See,
So we decided we were gonna use that blog post, and
cool.
So I didn't have to recite all that information.
Saves you a little trouble, didn't it?
A lot of trouble actually.
Glad I could help. That's what I do.
Yeah. So we gave you your props for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, lots of good stuff coming up next week. We're going to have a full docket
again
next week.
Yep.
Yeah. Fear the Walking Dead coming back. I think everything else is coming back next week, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Because now that the NCAA tournament championship is over, because that's what all the shows on Monday were running from.
Right.
And I think some of the shows, the DC shows on Tuesday, were running away from election coverage.
Right.
So hopefully hopefully.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you may just want to watch your shows on demand on Tuesday.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah.
But,
I'm still going to watch them.
But good news, Lucifer got picked up for season 2.
Oh, yes. We have to say that.
Right.
Lucifer was picked up for season 2. And they are actually talking about casting on Supergirl.
Yep.
So for those people that are wringing their hands about
they are? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're talking about Linda Carter coming on season 2. And they're talking about casting. Who was it they were casting?
This might be tentative casting, depending on the pickup, right? They could be like,
Mhm.
we'll make plans, but they're on hold until we get the full.
Well, that's what they're saying,
Yeah,
but really,
right.
I mean, it's all
They
but
can plan
hanging
stuff.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They were talking about other stuff
yeah.
too, as
They
well.
were talking about
Um,
a version of Supergirl appearing on the Flash, which
correct,
would
as
as
Power
Power
Girl.
Girl, which I think is a clever idea, but I'd like to see Supergirl there.
Right.
So,
Well, it would be her.
well, they could get
It would be Melissa
if they get
Benoist.
Melissa Benoist as Power Girl, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
That would be pretty cool.
that's what they're
That would be,
talking about, is
but
using her
still,
as
it's not
that.
officially Supergirl. So,
I know.
but it's the next best thing.
Yeah. Well, it would be like when Barry went over to Earth 2 and he was just Barry. He wasn't the Flash.
Yeah, but
They went to Earth 2.
yeah,
I mean,
but when Barry went to Supergirl's Earth, he was Barry and the Flash. So you think
right. And when Barry went to Earth 2, he was still the Flash.
right?
But
So you
then
think
there was
Supergirl
his
could
Earth.
do the reverse and appear on Barry's show as Supergirl,
Yeah. Well,
right?
they're going to go to Earth 2 and they're going to run into
All right.
Power Girl.
Okay. So that's enough.
Which doesn't make sense because no one flies on Earth 2.
Yeah.
So why is Power Girl there? Unless something catastrophic happens and they get weird metahumans. But anyway, yeah, that's all. But
we'll see.
All they need to do is say it.
Yeah.
Because there's much wringing of hands over it.
Well, the problem was that CBS didn't. They came out with these show announcements of pickups, and Supergirl was not one of them.
Well, none of those pickups were new shows.
No, they weren't.
They were all existing shows. And the guy who does all that stuff said that of all the new shows, most of them are coming back.
So the big question is, why is CBS holding off on this announcement?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, he said that they're essentially all but one of the new shows are coming back.
Right.
And they already canceled one of them. So, hello, they're all coming back.
So just make the stupid announcement already. Quit
Right.
jerking us around.
Right.
All right.
That's all they have to do is say it.
All right. So I guess for now, we'll say goodbye. And
yes.
Got a lot of shows to watch, everybody. So start watching.
That's right. Don't lose your head.
Yep. Get what?
See what I did
Yeah, I see
there.
what you did there. So make sure Daredevil episode 6 next week, along with our regular assortment and the premiere of Fear the Walking Dead.
That's
season
right.
premiere.
So what do you want? Do you want Young Justice or do you want Lucifer outro?
Let's do Lucifer. You enjoy Lucifer, and I kind of missed that Lucifer wasn't on this week. So let's do Lucifer.
Me too.
Let's do Lucifer.
I'm glad they got picked up for
in honor of the season 2 pickup, Lucifer.
Yes. All right.
Bye, everyone.
So we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.